Alright, admittedly, my ego is a little bit hurt. I'm starting to get tired of hearing the comments about how I've been hard stuck platinum for a few months now. Instead of staying angry about it though, I've decided to seek out some regular coaching to get out of platinum. Today, I was surprised to find out that it's actually fairly basic, the things that I'm fumbling.
So this game, you said it was pretty tough on the mental, but there were things you could do. I want to kind of talk about your team comp to start off. So I don't hate your team comp. I can honestly see this being played in a scrim setting outside the Junkrat. I mean, you might run like a tracer inside or something, but
Sure.
yeah, I think this is a very, very good comp, especially for Antarctic, because you can kind of play the Sig into this rush. What? So tell me how Sig played with the Lucio is different from Sig played on like a Zen Bap or Zen Alari or something like that.
Well, I mean, Zen, if you have a Zen in general, they become kind of the person determining who you're shooting at for the most part and who you're trying to pressure out. But the bigger thing that I see with the Lucio with a Sigma is just speeding in and moving very quickly to a target. It sort of becomes more of a brawl, but not literally a brawl.
Yeah. And let's talk about some Sig basics too. So when you are on this little hero right here, and so you're in a poke setting, right? And you have that 700 HP shield. So you're kind of like poking him out and stuff like that. When your Lucio speeds you in, usually because somebody is low and they've used resources, what is one thing that you could be doing differently with your mechanics? Because I've watched you with Sig in some scrims, and I feel like this is something that we haven't touched on, and now that I'm in a micro setting with you, we can kind of touch on that kind of thing.
That's a good question. So if we're speeding, the question being if we're speeding in on someone who we're trying to eliminate,
And you're right on top of them.
I'm right on top of them.
Yeah, and you have. I'm pointing at what you should be using.
Grasp?
No.
No.
So actually,
melee.
Yes, yeah. So Sig, and this is a Sig thing that kind of is a basic with Sig, but a lot of people don't really do it, especially in like lower ranks and stuff like that. When you're right on top of somebody, you literally shoot, shoot, punch, shoot, shoot, punch, shoot, shoot, punch, and you do that over and over and over. It's a combo, and it doesn't slow down any of your left clicks. It doesn't slow down your primary fire.
Doesn't
So
slow down the
adding in the
reload at
punch,
all?
I don't think so. I've never really done it like that, so it's a little different.
But the DPS is clearly better because people do that.
You have infinite ammo. That's what I thought. Yeah, there's no reload. So.
Okay, so that time in between is actually not a reload animation. Okay.
Not at all. No. Yeah, you can just shoot, shoot, punch. That's what you should be looking to do when you're on top of a target, and it does a lot more damage. So
that makes sense. Yeah,
I mean, you're talking about an extra
too, so
30 damage or something like that. So
yeah,
it helps out a lot. Yeah. So that's something to look for here. I'm gonna go ahead and start it up just to get going. So when we're playing this Sigma, we want to be taking advantageous positioning. I talk about this a lot with my support players. So advantageous positioning, what would you think is an advantageous position here if I put on spectate overlay? Where would we want to be playing?
I would almost not main, because that puts I started thinking that as like an angle to hit, kind of the choke point there on the right side where the Curie is, but
where the Curie, that's this. So do you consider this to be main on this map?
No, I just meant like standing on point and shooting towards where the Kiriko is. Because when on Sigma, you're not your presence isn't in front of them. It's meant to be kind of your damage. That's your presence, right? To keep them away from wherever.
Yeah. This is okay when you guys are like capping point or something like that. But this is the lane that I want to see you be using on Sigma. Okay. So you can do a lot here. I mean, this Doomfist is pretty far up right now. He punches in your team. You rock him, make him go away. And I want you to constantly be moving. And that's something that you can see across all roles. Not just tank in general, but you want to be constantly be repositioning yourself. You want to come over here after you force this Doomfist out, put up your shield, poke. All right. They're receding. so I can go ahead and push up and take space, put up your shield, poke, 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 that type of stuff. This is the lane that you want to be playing here.
Okay.
Is this top lane, because this is very, very good positioning. You have control of a mega pack. Usually your flex DPS will be kind of playing this off angle here, pressuring out someone. But so this is that's a little more than we need to talk about. But basically, I want to see you be playing this lane up here.
Okay.
When you're fighting this team. Right, so he gives us space. I want to be taking out my shield and walking. Have you and Travis talked about cooldown usage?
Periodically.
Periodically. Okay. So one thing is that when you're using your rock, you want to be using that to secure a pick. So when you use your rock, for example, over here, this Doomfist is behind cover. Who's going to help you kill him?
No one.
No one. So what would be better is, oh my gosh, this Doomfist is slamming into my entire team. Why don't I 180 and rock him? My Cassidy can right-click him. My Curie throws a kunai at him. My Lucio hits him with his triple bullets or however many bullets he shoots. I forget. Maybe if my Junkrat was up here, he can help out as well. But so this is kind of how you want to punish the dive when you're playing Sigma into a dive.
Okay, that makes sense.
You want to punish him for being in. We talked about this before.
Kill
what
box.
is this right here? Kill box. Yes, exactly. So that's what you want to be kind of doing here is punishing him for doing stupid things like that. We're putting up our shield too early. So when we taught Reinhardt to you, what did we call his shield?
I don't remember the specific term, but like I remember being shown a couple of uses for it.
Mm-hmm.
One was pathing, just protecting things to make a path. But
yes,
yep. Yeah,
you can say that for here too. But what I'm mainly looking for is second health pool.
Right. Okay.
Your shield protects you, and when we're talking about a comp aspect, you need to be the carry in these games. That's how you rank up in Overwatch. You carry. You carry using your abilities. You can get to a higher rank without raw mechanics. You can get there by being smarter. So when you're using your shield, mainly look to use your shield to deny enemy poke when you feel pressured, and that type of thing. You are a 625 HP shield, or 625 HP character with shields, and shields grant you damage reduction. And they also regenerate. So use up that shield health. One thing we kind of talk about with a lot of tank heroes with their armor and such is the moment you lose your complete armor, that's when you want to be looking to use protective abilities, because then you are no more than a giant squishy hero.
Right.
So with Sigma's case, he's probably got, looks like to be
like
400
225,
health.
250. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say, 400 health, 225 shield, I'd say. It looks to be about 60%.
Right.
So that's kind of what you want to be looking for, is using that to protect yourself. And of course protect your team too. But yeah. So we talked earlier, before I think you started hitting recording. You started to hit recording. What we're talking about in scrims is you not looking behind you.
Mm-hmm.
How long does it take me to do this?
I mean, half a second.
Half a second. Half a second, I've gathered enough intel to see that my Cassidy, my Kiriko, and my Lucio are all sitting back here. And I'm up here poking out a Kiriko, which is not a bad play. But your team didn't push with you. And this is a team game still. So look for ways to carry while also protecting your team. They are on the faster comp, so they're probably going to take point first unless you secure a pick, which Junkrat just killed the Tracer. So, but look to play a little bit further back. Look to poke out. Look at this Genji over here. I mean, this dude is wildly out of position right now. He needs to be in a place that has cover. He has no cover right here.
Right.
He's gonna you shoot at him once, he's gonna have his deflect forced out. He's probably gonna have to dash back. Boom, he's out of the fight for 5-6 seconds.
Makes sense.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Gotcha. So I'll kind of hit play here, see what we do. That was a good rock there. It just got Kiriko'd because Kiriko's a hero.
Yep, Kiriko is a hero.
So it was good. So we capped the point. What are we doing? What are we doing right now?
Standing still.
We're standing still with our shield up, throwing orbs. Walk forward. What do you lose walking forward here? The Doom punching you? You're a 600 HP hero. He's not going to be able to kill you. Walk forward. Take space. Constantly. You want to be constantly walking, constantly repositioning, forcing the initiative. We talk about this in Scrim. Sometimes we lose fights, and what do I immediately say? Well, the enemy team went first.
Right.
We want to be the aggressors here. We're not down anybody. We have cooldowns. Walk up. You know, be the bane of their existence. I want them to swap heroes and try to counter your Sigma because you're doing so much.
That makes sense.
So.
Yeah, that's kind of the value I want to give. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Right. That was, you know, I see the vision, but I think you wait for an easier rock.
Yeah, a little bit until maybe he lands or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what can we be doing here right now? Their whole team has ran back to secure support. What can we be doing here?
Could I push up on the main, or would that be going too far at this point, do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you have? You have your grasp. Your shield is at
Almost
600 health. Yeah. Walk up. Your supports are here to support you. Make sure to give them the ability to support you and help you out. That Lucio, I just know he's begging to go in right now.
Yeah.
Take some space. So what'd we just do right now?
We gave up a bunch of space.
We gave up a bunch of space, and we gave them the top lane. This is the best lane on this map. There is no other lane that you want. What is this right here? This little door, what do we call it?
Choke point?
A choke point. Does the enemy team want to push through this?
No.
Hell no.
Not if that's not. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Does the enemy team like this giant wall and the ability to see your entire team when they're on a dive comp? Oh yeah. Hell yeah, they do. Don't give up space like that. I haven't seen you drop below 500 health until now, as I said that. So we see what went wrong there.
Yeah, gave up space and they gave him the advantage.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna use and abuse you for that. That's what they want to see. So, another thing I want to talk about here too. So in scrims, we use our main support to consider ultimates, and of course, people can help out too.
Sure.
You know, to ult track. In comp, you are the lone survivor. You are the Spartacus here. You need to be doing everything, which sounds like a tall ask until you really think about it. I mean, while you're walking back from spawn, it'll take you about 10 seconds to walk back to where the fight starts. Look, in those 10 seconds, you can ult track. You can see what your team has. You can think of what their enemy has. And then you can adjust your playstyle based on that.
Makes
so
sense.
We're probably thinking here that they're coming close to Kitsune Rush because, you know, their Doom's been taking a bunch more damage than we have.
Right.
And then their Doom's been in a lot, so I guess we could probably think about Meteor Strike. Maybe. So yeah. Okay. We go Orisa.
Yeah.
I don't hate this pick. This is good into the Doomfist.
That was the reason.
Yes. Most people will swap to Orisa to counter the Nim Fist. How do things change when you're on Orisa versus
Versus
Sigma?
Sigma.
Mm-hmm.
In this kind of with a into a dive composition, wouldn't you want to play Orisa a bit more like a brawl tank
Yeah.
and let them come to you?
Well, yeah. I mean, you want to punish their dives, of course. That's what
Right.
Orisa's really good at. She's good at displacing people with her spear spin and forcing cooldowns with her javelin.
Right.
And hopefully securing a pick if they don't have those cooldowns. But so yeah, it's good to play defensive, but does playing defensive win you games?
No.
No. So we want to be pushing the initiative. We want to go look up here. We want to see who we can kill on their team. They have a very mobile comp. It's going to be very difficult for you, but there's still things you can do. You can bully this Doomfist. You can look to force out cooldowns in their backline, and then in turn take advantage and kill them. Speaking of Orisa between Sig, what do we have differently here? What do we not have?
Well, we don't have a shield. That's a
We
big
don't have
one.
a shield. So what does that mean that we do?
You got to cooldown cycle really well.
You have a cooldown cycle really well, but you also want to. What do you want to do? Use
Cover.
hard cover, yes. And hard cover is anything that is an unshootable barrier, like a wall, or maybe a different path. That type of stuff. Maybe we take the choke because they're on a dive comp and we're on a brawl comp. So what are they gonna do? Push into here? You think the Tracer wants to be in here when you have Javelin Spin and you got a Lucio Boop and a Kiri Suzu and a Kiri Headshot, which doesn't come damage, and a Sojourn Rail? No, you don't want to be in there.
Mm-mm.
All right, Orisa Micro. Don't ever let that happen.
Yeah, the overheating.
Use your Javelin Spin.
Okay.
Yep. Use your Javelin Spin. If you're not in a position to do that, maybe you're poking on Orisa. Wait around the corner for a second. Don't ever let it go all the way to the top. I would say this red. I think the devs did a good job putting this red line here. I think you should try to avoid that red line.
Okay.
We have too much downtime when you have that. So, I think Travis has kind of talked with you about this, and myself as well, and Scrims when we've gone against an Orisa comp back when she was like hard meta.
Mm-hmm.
What does a bad Orisa do?
Waste cooldowns.
Waste cooldowns. Were we in any position to use our Fortify
gold
there?
No.
Yeah. No.
I was laughing
at
myself whenever you said I knew it was coming. I'm like, yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah. So, because she is so easy to kill when she has no cooldowns.
Case in point here in about 2 seconds.
Yep, we have no cooldowns. We didn't have hard cover because we're sitting in the middle of the point. Boom. Nice javelin. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the health back.
Yeah, that was the goal.
Probably better to reset anyway.
Yeah.
All right. We're thinking again here. We're walking back from spawn. What cooldowns do they have? Or not what cooldowns. What ultimates do they have? What ultimates do we have?
Right. Which obviously I have the advantage of seeing right now, but
yeah. And we're playing with our Kiri, so why not try to coordinate a Kitsune rush with her? Oh, beautiful hack. Oh, so unfortunate.
Apparently can use ultimate despite being hacked. That's interesting.
It's only a couple seconds. Good peel back for your team. Unfortunately, couldn't really do more about that. Yeah, we wanted to walk back to spawn quicker than that, but we still live at the expense of our Kiri. So we didn't really get to touch there. I'm gonna go ahead and skip forward. Kind of see what the issue is here. We're kind of understanding.
I think there's really two big things that I'm seeing from what you've explained so far. One is understanding what space is valuable, and something that I watched a Spilo video on in the last month, but it never really resonated with me. And made sense until recently. Understanding what space actually matters. The tanks can say all day long, "Oh, I need to take space," but what space are you actually taking? Is it helping, or are you just taking space to take space? And then the other thing too is cooldown management generally, even counting Sigma's shield into that as well, because it's still a cooldown. And just recognizing when to use it, and mostly when not to. I'm definitely seeing a lot more when not to use it. On both Orisa and Sig so far. So
yeah, definitely. And you talked about what space, and I think that style of video is great. Of course, I'll start off with that. But you talk about what space is important. I mean, when we're playing this map, there's really one lane that we want, right?
Yeah, it's the same kind of concept as the other point.
Exactly, the high ground. That is so important in Plat. Nobody uses it. Nobody's sitting up here and saying, "Oh, I'm on Sojourn and I'm on point right now. I want to slide up here."
Right.
No, Plat Sojourn's not thinking of that. Plat Sojourn's like, where's the enemy team gonna come? I'm gonna play right here. Shooting. Oh my god, I'm way out of position. Why do I lose my games?
Right.
So, there's you got to think about that too. And luckily, Antarctic being a control map, there's really limited lanes compared to a push or not a push, a escort or a hybrid or something like that. Where there's not a lot of different places that you can take advantage of. But yeah, that's definitely a good video. I would definitely rewatch that, touch on it, see what else you can learn from that video that maybe you didn't see the first time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so we're on a different comp here. So let's start off with that. We're on Zarya. So we have 2 bubbles, and we're looking to get a lot of energy. So that's how we carry. I am myself a big Zarya player, so I love playing Zarya. I love she's very flashy, but she's also a glass cannon.
Right.
So you got to think about your positioning. Are you playing your hard cover if you need to? Are you near your supports? That type of stuff. But think of the way our comp plays now. We have Moira Baptiste with a cast Sombra. So our Sombra's looking for targets to hack. Probably the Doomfist, because they're probably sick of getting Doomfisted. So, but yeah, and our Cassidy, what do we want to do for him as a tank?
We want to allow him to take the off angle. First thing that comes to my brain.
Off angle. We want to give him. We want to serve him an advantageous position on a platter. We want to do our damnedest to set him up for success. Because that's what we want to do here. We want to take positioning, take this high ground and give it to our Cassidy. Force the enemy team back. Force them to play weird angles and be caught off guard, and give our Cassidy this beautiful, oddly shaped figure here. Give him that positioning to set him up to succeed. So, because when your team succeeds, you succeed. All right, I'm going to start this now.
Okay.
So our Sombra's probably going to be going for hacks. She's going to be a good target for bubbles. Who else will be a good target for bubbles, considering their team comp?
Honestly, Cassidy or Bab. Because either one of them can get dove pretty easily.
And dove, yeah, exactly. And when they dive, they go full in. So what are we going to get out of that?
A bunch of charge.
The easiest 40 charge of our life off a bubble. They are going to burst that thing so quickly. I like the hard cover. Oh, they're tank DC'd. Okay. So now we just push in. That was an okay bubble. Why? Yeah. What is happening down here?
Nothing at all. Just look away. You didn't see this.
We drop, and this Moira used fade out of here. Oh, she is a prime target for killing right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our Cassidy is about to get mollywopped by a Tracer. No. Don't go point. Even if the point unlocks and nobody's capturing it, screw the point. Capture it later. Kill their team. We're just sitting here doing nothing. capping the point. We gain nothing from doing this.
Yeah.
Do we need bubble at that point?
No.
Is the Doomfist going to punch a 550 HP Zarya?
No.
No. Stop. And I see so much from lower rank Zaryas. They're bubbling themselves constantly. Stop doing that. Unless you are in immediate danger of dying, you shouldn't be bubbling.
Okay.
Bubble this Cassie that got punched through a wall and has a Genji up his face. And then, you know, if Berlin was a top rank support player, he'd see that bubble and wouldn't throw a lamp, and then you still have lamp on cooldown.
Got it. Makes sense.
Yep. I don't want to see you bubble another person until you are at risk. Which I don't expect out of this game, but in the future, I'd love to see that.
Right.
Don't charge the Doom.
Yeah.
That was a good bubble. I don't expect your tracking to be perfect, but that Genji definitely could have died there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was so frustrated.
Well, that's alright. It happens. That was a bad bubble.
Yeah, it was poorly timed.
Yep. Even then, what is a slam gonna give you? What, 10 charge?
Usually
don't bother
20.
with that. Yeah, okay, alright. But don't bother with that. Bother with the punches. Every punch this Doom does, I want to see you bubble. Because that punch is going to go straight into a wall, and then he's going to get shot by a Tracer or shot by a Genji, and that bubble's going to burst, boom, 40 charge right there. Into this comp, you should easily have maximum charge. Great bubble right there. Wow, they still killed your whole team. Alright, can't fault you for that, to be honest, but you bubbled well there.
Trying to get out with charge there, but I did not.
Well, that's unfortunate, but they are in a very fast-paced comp, so can't expect to always get out. But what I'd like to see you do less is shoot the Doom. No reason to shoot the Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Beautiful. With 0 charge, too. Great bubble. If it was timed a little bit earlier, it would have been even better. But I like the idea that you had. Don't bubble yourself, bubble your Moira.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah,
I feel like I'm sorry for being a repetitive clock, but I feel like
no, if you say it more than once, it'll probably
yeah.
click at some point. It'll come get in my thick skull.
So.
Yeah, and right here, I'm just gonna say it. I need to be going up to high ground. The other direction, though, not here. I need to be going up to the front.
No, this is fine. I mean, you know, it doesn't matter which way you go, because they were completely team killed, so. When you saw the Doom going for punch there, this is very, very micro, but you can bubble your Moira. And it would help her a lot there.
Yeah.
So,
I think I go to, and I'm just way too slow on it.
Yeah, you're way too late. It needs to happen
A little bit, like another second sooner.
Yeah. So. Could have bubbled our, I can't think of her name, Sombra.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Alright, so we kind of see what's going on here right now. Oh, beautiful, they wasted coal. Oh, look at all the charge you have. Oh, okay. Oh! Oh no. They're dead! Look at how low they are. Don't commit ults to this.
Yeah.
Good bubble there. You got a little bit of charge and secure. Nice. Probably didn't need the bubble there, but that's alright. I see the idea there. He might have went to punch the Sombra, so you can't get every
Can't get value out of every bubble.
well, yeah, but like I keep wanting to say gambling. You can't guess every target that he's gonna punch. So
Right. Predict.
all right, we're
Is that the
sitting
word
on
you're
point
looking
again. Yeah, predict. Thank you.
for?
We are AFK on point. That was a good bubble. He missed his punch, sadly. Nice. That was a good bubble too. Yeah, I mean, there were definitely things you could do better there, but we just kind of, your team kind of got rolled.
Honestly, the collective thought that I see the most are very basic, but they were micro on individual levels. But the issue is cooldown management in general. Bubbles on Zarya, shield on Sigma, gold on Orisa. They all have the same core issue, is that I rush those cooldowns way too early. Like almost predict that I need them rather than reacting when I need them.
Mm-hmm. Which there's something to be said about Zarya bubbles, that it is a lot of prediction.
Well, yeah.
Which is why Zarya is a very easy hero mechanically, but in the game sense level, Zarya is very, very difficult. You don't have a lot of mobility. You only get charged from people shooting your bubbles, which generally the community has gotten smarter about.
Yeah.
Even in lower ranks.
Right, they recognize don't shoot the Zar bubble.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, because I honestly want to say your average energy there was like 30.
Probably.
Like, maybe less. So at that point, it's not even worth it to play Zarya. You might as well just go like, I don't even know. Against a Doomfist comp, I would do maybe a Sigma or oh my gosh. I wouldn't hate a Diva with the way that they're playing, because they have this hyper dive comp where you can just like DM whoever they're on. So yeah, there's it's not easy. I think people think of Zarya to be a very, very easy brain dead hero, but I think they forget that for a lot of the player base, Zarya is difficult because you have to use a lot of brain. So
yeah, that makes sense.
People talk about Sim so much about being an easy hero. Well, yeah, Sim's really easy in Plat, in Diamond, but the moment you go up against people who think about positioning, think about lanes, think about cooldown management, you're cooked.
Right.
So
right.
You got to play at a much higher level. So
right. If you want to see more of these egregious mistakes I've been making on tank, make sure you check out this video right here, where it doesn't take a coach to see the several mistakes that I've been making pretty quickly.